Well, Josh and Catherine, thank you so much for taking the time today, and happy premiere day, by the way.
Yes, thank
After,
you.
yeah, I know you filmed last year, I know, and I want to get into talking about filming during the pandemic and how that was different from other jobs that you've done. But the
Okay.
fan reactions have been so positive. I've been reading them all over Instagram, and I got so many questions for the both of you. I mean, everyone is just so excited for the film. So, congratulations, first of all, because I thought your chemistry was electric. I thought the film was so charming, and I love the ending. I would be down for a sequel.
Well, I think there is an actual legitimate sequel, right? The book series.
Yeah, Emma's books. Yeah, like I actually have
Yeah.
not read this book, but yeah, I mean that was my first question for the both of you. Did you actually read the book? Because I've spoken to a lot of actors who like reading the book, or they just like collaborating with the director themselves. So, Catherine, I want to begin with you. Did you read the novels prior?
Yeah, no, when I booked it, I ordered it immediately, and it's a really fun, like super quick, just because it's so funny. So it was a good read. Yeah. I
I
got
love
it immediately.
that. Yeah, Josh, what about for you? Did you end up reading the book beforehand?
Yes, I did. Same thing. I hadn't read it before, but the same thing as Catherine. Once I was cast, I dove in, and yeah, it was really fun, really fast, and just it's energetic. It's cheeky, Fun.
Yeah, no, I actually pre-ordered it on Amazon after I watched the film, or ordered it on Amazon after I watched the film a few days ago. Well, like I said, I received so many questions for you guys, and I wrote a ton after watching the film. But I want the two of you to take me back to your audition for this. What your audition was like, when the two of you first met, and was there a chemistry read? So, Josh, I'll begin with you. Talk about your audition process and when you first met Catherine.
Oh man. All right. Well, it was just like this. It was a Zoom.
Oh,
I
wow.
know. I know. Well, I suppose during COVID everything is a Zoom now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went through one round and then a second, and then I got sort of director's notes via tapes, and I was preparing, taking those notes, just kind of diving into it myself, and I ended up. Well, I wasn't told that I had gotten it yet, but I was told that I had a meeting with Catherine and with the director. So I
Right.
was like, all right.
Yeah, he had already had it. Yeah.
So I think this is promising. So then I met her, and honestly, it was amazing. The chemistry was there, just on a personal level. Catherine's a great friend to this day, and I just knew it was gonna be amazing.
I love that. Catherine, what are your thoughts on that? Do you want to expand?
Yeah, no, mine was I sent in one tape, and I got a call that Tracy wanted to meet our director. I met with her, and she was super, super cool. And I was like, this sounds fun. And then I think a week or so, or maybe a couple weeks later, they were like, okay, we want you to meet the guy. And I was like, all right. And then we got on Zoom, and it was super chill. It was great. And yeah, super. But it is a weird process now with COVID, with auditioning. Like it's just different, like we didn't have the like luckily we were homies, and like, but it could have, because we didn't have like a in-person chemistry read, it could have been a really different situation. But yeah, I just feel really lucky that it worked out that way.
Yeah, so it's cool that you met on Zoom, did the chemistry read that way. So, what was the meeting like when you first met in person? Was that actually on set? Was it at a table read?
I feel like it was like outside of the apartments we were staying at. Oh yes, and you were with your dog. He brought his beautiful husky, right?
He's a husky. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Jack, to Atlanta. And I was like walking outside to get food, and I was like, that looks like, oh yeah. And then we were like, hi. And his dog was like all over yeah, it was really cute. I met you right outside. And then we just started working like the next week.
Literally.
Yeah.
Honestly, when there's a dog involved, I mean, like the meeting would be great.
Jack's a good dog.
Yeah. Josh, talk about filming in Atlanta, since I know a lot. I've been down to a couple of the Passionflix sets in Atlanta. I love Atlanta. So many great movies and shows are filmed out of there right now. But talk about what it was like filming down there, and especially what was different about this job filming during the pandemic versus other jobs you've had.
Yeah, yeah, no, Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta's amazing. It was very different from LA, obviously, in a number of ways. Offset, the traffic was horrendous, which I was not happy about.
It
But
is. Yeah.
other than that, it was lovely. I mean, filming down there was really cool. We shot one night. We were, what was it, like the 30th floor or something, Catherine? We were on.
Oh, that was, yeah. And well, there's a thunderstorm, right? That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, which
I'm
is
not used to
definitely.
rain.
Yeah, it is. It was a nice change of pace, but that's certainly different just being in Atlanta versus LA. You don't get thunderstorms, you don't get snow warnings, etc. So
Yeah.
we had a bunch of really lovely locations. Like I had alluded to earlier, we were up in the 30th story of this really cool hotel. It was
Yeah.
raining. It was just beautiful. The city's beautiful. I had actually never been in my whole life, so it just worked out really well. And no, yeah, I have nothing but good things to say about Atlanta.
Yeah. Catherine, what about you? What was like filming in Atlanta like? Have you filmed down there before for anything?
It's actually this summer I shot two things there. I shot a series, and then a week I got home, and then they're like, "Hey, you booked the Tangled," and I was like, "Awesome! Where am I going?" And they were like, "Atlanta," and I was like, "Great!" So I was kind of there all last summer, and it's so fun. It's a really cool city, and there's just a lot to do. The people are really kind, and
Yeah.
it's really fun when you do projects with people your own age, because the series I had done right before Tangled was I was the youngest on set, and so I was kind of alone the whole time. And then when I got to doing when I got on set with Tangled, there was just always someone to chill with, always somewhere to go. It was really fun, and I felt like the crew was like on the younger side as well, which
Yeah,
was really fun.
they
No,
were.
I
Yeah.
love that. I didn't even think about that being around like the same age. Well, I know you said you both read the book, but did you end up speaking with the author, Emma, throughout any of the process? I'm just curious if she gave you tidbits into Drew and Kate that maybe she didn't put in the book, or something specific that you added into the character after speaking with her. Josh, did you end up speaking with Emma?
I did, yeah, a number of times. Catherine as well, I
Oh,
believe. But
yeah.
Emma's wonderful. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, one thing that I had mentioned the other night that I spoke with Emma about is just when you read a book, you sort of have this perfect caricature in your head, and so they can get away with a lot of things. And we were Catherine and I were talking about this the other night, and like some of the things that Drew says, if somebody said that to you in real life, you would
I
be
would
convinced.
slap him in the face, like no doubt.
You
Like,
can't, they're totally unforgivable. But when you're reading a novel, you're just like, okay, well, I forgive you because
mhm,
this is my dream person. So I
yeah.
did talk with Emma about that and just the reality of, okay, how do you make this character vulnerable but likable and not overbearing?
Mhm.
She had some really, really amazing tidbits for that. And just sort of Drew in general. Obviously, she wrote him. And I think we spent at least, I want to say we spent a good hour of various talks together chatting through it.
Wow, that's awesome. Catherine, what was your experience like with Emma?
Yeah, I had a lot of back and forth with both Emma and Tracy, our director. Just I love using the having the text in general, like as a book, is so cool going into a movie. And I feel like I've been lucky, and I've done a few now projects with books, and it's like as an actor, that's like the coolest thing to be able to go in and be like, well, what happened here, and what was her internal dialogue, and like all this stuff. Yeah, so I had a lot of email chains with Tracy and Emma, just being like, why would she say this here? What's her backstory with her parents? Like, what is this? What is this? There's a lot of like at their office job, I was like, what does this jargon mean? Just so it was nice to have. And Emma was super present, and she came to set, which was so cool. And it was also really fun to see fans come to set and be like obsessed with Emma, like, which is really cool. It was really cool.
Yeah, it just shows you how big of a fandom this book has, honestly,
Yeah.
truly. Josh, I love the relationship that Drew has with the younger girl in the film. It's
Oh
so
my
cute.
God.
I always feel like though for actors it can be a little bit of a challenge to act with kid actors. Like they get like I've heard they can get like distracted and things like that. Did you develop any type of like relationship with her prior to filming to make her like a little bit more comfortable on set?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we were just,
It's
She was
honestly one of the cutest parts of the movie.
she was a machine. That little girl was like more professional than anyone on set. Like she was amazing.
she really was. She came
Yeah, she
super
was.
prepared. Yeah, she came
Mhm.
super prepared. I mean, to answer the question in short, yes. I mean, we played a bunch of games, and every day that she was on set, we would come up with something fun to do together. But to Catherine's point, she was really prepared, more so than a lot of people.
I came to set one day and I was like, oh man.
She was lovely. And like the scene by the lake where we're skipping rocks and throwing
So
rocks
cute.
and stuff. I mean, she was absolutely adorable. Super professional. And no, it really didn't take much. Like we played games and joked around, but it wasn't like I needed to get her ready or out of her shell or anything. She was just, she was there.
Yeah, no, I love that. Well, the intimate scenes between Drew and Kate are so well done and so beautifully shot. I'm curious, you know, when I've spoken to actors who have done these types of scenes together, a lot of the times these scenes are done later in filmmaking. I'm curious, did you really shoot around? Did you kind of bounce around with more of the intimate scenes, or did you kind of shoot things just completely out of order? Because I've known in the past that actors want to take a while to build up to those scenes. Katherine, I want to begin with you. When did you have that?
Yeah, no, they were definitely like daunting just because these are romance novels. So it's like, that's a huge part of these books. And so, yeah, I think signing on, I was like, I really want to make sure that like the guy is cool and like we get on, and we're friends and there's trust there, because that's huge. And yeah, I think Tracy scheduled for all of our intimacy scenes to be at the end of filming is exactly that, like the last 3 days. So as awesome as it was for us to, be close and like trust each other and have such a good rapport going into those, it also felt like we were just in a bedroom for like 3 straight days. And like by the end of it, we both were like, all right, man.
Like, I've seen enough of you now.
Yeah, we were like, we're cool. But yeah, it was I'm just happy it was Josh, to be honest, because it was definitely something I think newer for both of us, and something we knew we would have to do for this movie. So
yeah, Josh, can you expand on that? What was it like kind of filming those scenes over the last 3 days? In a way, it sounds like it's helpful, but again, having all of that compact within a short time frame seems like it can be stressful too.
Most definitely, yeah. I mean, Katherine nailed it. It was really lovely having the time to just get to know one another, obviously, and particularly, right now in these times, it's always really hard because you don't want to, it's just tough. That whole relationship on set is just tough. And so I always wanted to make sure that she was comfortable, that set was comfortable, but you don't ever want to overstep your place either. So I just felt like we had a really, really good, just relationship, period, to be honest with you. And as she said, I'm thankful with you. Without that, I think it would have been harder for me. But having it 3 days in a row was definitely, a lot.
I think it's sometimes more difficult for the guy in the situation, because there is a sense of, especially now in these beautiful times of women and all that good stuff, like it's just it's important for, I think, also the females to make the men give consent and like be very, very clear and communicative on like, hey, I am cool with this, like, because if you don't, there's gonna be a disconnect on screen. It's just super important to communicate on both ends. It's not fully up to the dude to like make everyone else feel super comfortable. You know what I mean?
100%. I love those answers. Well, I got tons of fan questions, and one of them, like, I got this one a lot. I know you've touched base on this kind of throughout this interview so far, but what was your favorite thing about working with each other? So Josh, what was your favorite thing, something you learned about yourself as an actor, even from working with Katherine?
Oh, all right. That's a
pressure.
Good one. Yeah, no pressure. Yeah.
Makes me sound amazing.
Like, let me just listen.
Nothing at all. No, a lot. Honestly, I would say the thing that stuck out for me is like, how do I articulate this property? This is a really obvious actor thing, but just connecting. So a lot, not to badmouth certain people, but a lot of actors just memorize the lines on the page in the way in which they should say them, right? It's like, okay, this is how I should feel in this emotional beat and in this moment, and as such, I'm going to prepare it like this. And if you look them in the eyes and you give them something different, they're like, oh, wait, the way I prepared this no longer makes sense. Whereas with Katherine, I felt like we never, we definitely rehearsed and we went through stuff, but at a certain point, we were so cool that we would just make a connection and the scene would take off in its own way. And I hope that is why it feels like it's a real connection.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love
it's
that
really
you guys
nice.
are besties.
No, we did. I mean, I feel like a lot of people when they do films, they're like, oh yeah, like my guy. But I do feel like Josh is someone who will be a good friend for a long time.
Same.
Yeah.
Ditto.
Yeah.
Catherine, what's something you learned about yourself as an actor from working with Josh?
I think my favorite thing about Josh is his work ethic because
Aw.
it's very no like it's really intense, but it's amazing. And I found myself like I'm one to wake up like a couple hours before call time and go for a run down at the gym, whatever. Every morning when I went down, Josh was already there, like, and like, I just felt like I just felt like I was always being pushed in a great way. So just like put a lot of energy and love into this and make sure to do, the best work possible. And I'm glad I had Josh there to kind of, you know, even that out with me or whatever.
Yeah, no, 100%. Another question I got, Josh, is do you feel that you relate to Drew in any way? I mean, I'm sure there's a couple of things here and there, but after stepping into the role and playing him for, I don't know how long you guys shot, over a month or two, did you feel like you have like similar traits to him? How do you relate to him after completing the film?
Yeah, I think
He's such a funny dude to like, yeah.
I know. It's like, well, you don't even want to say the wrong thing here. Yeah, like I'm Drew entirely because he's not a great dude.
Yeah.
No, I think I share his competitiveness. As Catherine just said, I have a hustle, I have a work ethic, and I feel like he has that when he gets up super early and he just wants to win the day. I feel that I'm the same way. I have like goals, I have aspirations. So I did identify with his sort of hustle, if you will.
Yeah.
Vulnerability, the love of his family. Like at the end of the day, the family is always first for him, which I thought was super cool. You have the Thanksgiving scene, you have Mackenzie, and so even though he's kind of this Mr. Big Shot on the surface, the reality is he's a big teddy bear, and that I do feel like I definitely identify with.
Yeah, no, I love that. Catherine, for you, what do you admire about Kate, and what's something that you feel like you related to her after playing her and
Yeah.
stepping in her shoes?
I think the coolest thing about Kate is that she's a woman who is super super hardworking, and she's she has her dreams and her aspirations of this job, but like she also allows herself to fall in love, and like she's an imperfect woman. Like, look, she's emotionally cheating on her fiance, and like she's trying to figure it out. She's in her late 20s, like she doesn't she's like she's a real woman. And I feel like I'm glad rom-coms are moving in a way that there's a lot of imperfect women falling in love and finding love and doing all these things. So yeah, I think my favorite thing about her is just like she's a real girl falling in love and making mistakes and following her dreams of her job, and yeah, she's cool. I like her.
She is super cool. Well, one of my favorite scenes in the film is, the homemade dinner date towards the end of the film. And I'm curious, when actors have to eat on set, are you actually eating? Did you have to like put, it's like, Drew makes this beautiful meal and you're like, oh, it's great. But are you guys actually eating in that moment? Do you have to eat a lot of it?
I'm always eating.
Yes.
I'm always
Jonathan looked
eating.
great.
I think I did eat. I think I was starving. I think it was a night shoot. I'm always eating, but like that particular, I don't know if I should have eaten that. I think it was late and that had been out for a while. But I did in fact eat that, and it was good. It was really good.
Josh, do you actually eat the food on set when you're playing a character that has to eat?
Oh yeah, they get mad at me though because it's like sometimes it's
continuity.
stale, because
Right.
continuity, and B, sometimes it's stale and they don't have enough to replace and this, that, and the other. So yeah, they're furious with me, but I definitely eat it every time.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that. Another fan question I got is, if the two of you were to reunite for not another Tangled film, but another project, what type of genre do you think would be fun to work together in? Josh, what do you think? What type of genre would be interesting to work with Catherine in?
I wonder if we have the same answer.
Oh,
Man, well, I have a bunch. Now I just went to a bunch of different places with her. I mean, I gotta think.
I feel
I
like
would
horror would
say
be cool.
I would say a Western. I'd want to do a Western.
So fun.
I love Westerns. They're really fun. I would love to do that, or just like a really, really cheesy 90s comedy. That would be great. Like,
That'd be funny.
It would be really fun.
Yeah, for sure.
90s comedy or a Western. Yeah.
It would be
two
fun.
very similar genres.
There you go. Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna say like a horror film, something totally different. But
Horror films are getting so dope. There's so many cool horror films coming out.
Yeah, no, they're like, it's like one of my favorite genres. That's why I'm like, I would love to see them in a horror film. Well, last question for the both of you. You know, obviously this is a book to film adaptation. I have so many favorites. I mean, The Hunger Games, Gone Girl. Do you have any particular book to film adaptations, like favorite movies? I know it's putting you on the spot here to think about it, but I mean, obviously, but
ones that have come out already, or have not, or are being.
I mean, they don't necessarily. I mean, because I'm also excited for Where the Crawdads Sing, which comes out later.
Oh, I liked that one.
Yes,
I love Elena Ferrenti. I don't know if I said her name right, but so like Lost Daughter.
I have a Lost Daughter poster literally right there.
Yes, I haven't seen it yet, but a lot of her books have been adapted, and then I would love. There's so many people I would like to see adapted. Like, I just saw Drive My Car, which is based on like a Murakami short story, which was beautiful. I would love to see Murakami in general be like adapted way more. Yeah, there's so many good ones. I am excited for Where the Crawdads Sing though. I like that book.
You have to watch The Lost Daughter on Netflix. Olivia
I know.
and Dakota Johnson are fantastic in it. If you like the book, you'll like the movie.
Yeah, Dakota Johnson is like my absolute girl crush. So.
Oh my God, yeah, no, same.
Yeah. Love her.
I was like, same. I got to interview her for The Lost Daughter, and I was like, I'm fangirling, like freaking out.
Oh, that's so cool.
Josh, what about for you? Do you have like a favorite? Like, oh, what are you gonna show me?
Oh God.
I'm a big nerd at heart.
Oh my God, Dune is amazing.
Dune was beautiful.
It's not in my office, it's downstairs, but Dune was my favorite film of last year.
Dune was really good. Game of Thrones, Dune, anything science fiction, I'm a total nerd for it, and I love it all. Yeah.
By the way, what is everything behind you? Are those like actor notes behind you in your office? I feel like the fans are going to be mad at me if I don't ask.
I literally said to her before we got on, I was like, I wonder if he's going to be in front of his like wall of tasks.
You have like the biggest like to-do list, the most organized I've ever seen.
This is what I mean by work ethic. It's just like, it's very cool.
Thank you. It's I mean, I'm a lunatic, I guess. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
This is like my whole life. I keep everything, like stored up in here. The short answer is it's a lot of things. It's like beat boards for a script, to-do list, goals, monthly goals, things like that. But kind of just my whole life sitting around me,
Yeah, no, I love it. I had to ask because I was like, I can't read anything on those boards, but I have to see what's written there.
Most definitely. I'll take a screenshot. I'll put it.
Oh my God. Josh and Katherine, this has been so much fun to chat with you. Again, congratulations on the film. Fans are super excited. I would love to see you guys working in another project together if it's not these. And thank you both so much for your time today. This was honestly like one of the funnest interviews I've had so far this year.
Oh, well, thank you, Lauren.
Thank
you so much.
Very much.